citation. If you have this one, citation, to other elementary and secondary school. So now sound like your focus point will be the secondary school and the primary school. Okay. That means in your sampling later, this will be included secondary school and primary school for Malaysia lah. I'm not sure how you're able to get from all Malaysia for that sampling. Maybe you have a way to get it, I don't know. But that will be very difficult for you to do that lah. Okay, because you're going to involve the whole Malaysia. I assume that will be whole Malaysia lah, not all Asia or globally lah. Okay. Then you have to think how you're going to collect the data from here. Dropout rate, higher education dropout rate. Now you talk about higher education. Here you focus on the elementary and secondary school. Which one do you want to focus? This one no longer relevant anymore. Because I didn't see anything you're talking about the salary from your objective there and your hypothesis as well. Your hypothesis that I really want to test about the problem. So I do not know what school you want to do. If you want to do only for university or only TAR UC, okay, your literature review, you can look at the dropout rate. That means the dropout rate could be from the primary school or other school. And then we do not know, but somehow there's something happened at others. So maybe this is why you think maybe we also have the same problem to higher education in TAR UC. So this is the reason why you come out this hypothesis, because you do not know, you're not able to find, but somehow you're able to find that will be other country or secondary school or primary school because their parents. So you suspect maybe this is the reason. So you want to know, but you're not sure. So you want to test it, and then it becomes hypothesis. Okay, which is better than you do school. Because if you do school, sound like you already get the answer over here. Then you don't need to do, people already did this. This one, I don't see any relevant with your objective and your hypothesis. It sounds like people with cert versus people do not have cert, the salary will be different. But yours is not talking about the cert will affecting their salary pay or not. Yours one it sounds like talking the problem why they drop out. So you already have clear about your boundary, which is this is no longer relevant anymore. All these are no longer relevant. Financial problem. We don't write according to the hypothesis. You just directly report what you get, what you can see, not according to your hypothesis. You just report what you get. Okay, you can talk about the tuition fees is not cheap, it's quite expensive. Okay. When you're in literature review, we don't really put that much of all this lah, or especially of this lah. You can just use one word to conclude what happened on this. Why suddenly research objective? Why you have another hypothesis over here? If this is the part that you're explaining how you get your H1, then you combine this with this, with this H1. Okay, you can combine over here, which is after you write your H1, and then you start to write why you get this. It will be more easier for reading. You just write H1, okay, to show this is hypothesis one. And then here you just blah, 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 how you get this idea. So because I'm reading all this, so this is the reason why I suspect this is the problem. But I don't know it's true or not. So I want to test. So it becomes hypothesis. Yeah, then you can put over here. Same thing over here. Okay, for your hypothesis, research hypothesis lah. And the same thing, whatever you write here, citation, 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 all this citation. I don't understand why you have two objectives. I found many researchers as a result, student which, however, we negatively one of the objective. One of the objective, that means you have multiple objectives. Okay, so this is the one objective. And then majority students outside that pay for food. It's still financial. As a result, so already financial, still financial, part-time problem, still financial. So where is your others objective? Because this objective, you say only one, then how about the second objective? I can't see your second objective. Okay, to find out. This one focus to find out whether they're facing this financial problem. This objective different from this objective. They are different. This objective is you do not know why they drop out from school. I assume this school is secondary and primary school. You do not know why they drop out, but actually people already know. Okay, so this is why you want to find out the reason. This part here is about, are they facing financial problem? Full stop. You're not really talk about their dropout or not. You just want to know they're facing financial problem or not. That's all. There's two different things. So I do not know which one you want to do. And then your scope. I will advise that you focus on how you see. Okay, the explanation here, which is you can use explanation here, which is you already did over here, the literature review. Okay, but that is for the secondary school. Okay, but based on this secondary school, you deduct that maybe we also have the same thing. That is the reason why you want to test, because you're not sure where is this. And then it becomes your hypothesis. Yeah, and the salary thing, yeah, I don't see any relevancy about your salary because it's just different from the beginning of your discussion. Because I remember that at the beginning you want to talk. People know that higher salary with the cert, but they still want to drop out. Why? But in your objective right now, you're not talking about that. You just want to know why they drop out. They're two different things. Okay, you don't think that they are same, they are different, because the focus point is people already know, students already know, but why they still do it. What you want to do now is you not really care, you don't really see, you don't really investigating whether they know or they don't know. You just want to know why they drop out. Okay, so the focus point is different. So it's up to you which is what I want to do. But based on what you give me right now, I would say your salary thing, all this is not relevant anymore. Okay, and no need to put that much in your final submission. This is, I assuming that this is for your own reference. Okay, usually people don't put that much, because all this, what you're talking, is that increasing? And then you just write here, yeah, they're increasing, that's all. Okay, like this, you also need to put something here. Okay, let's say you say it's very expensive, how many for total 3 years after finish, then you just give a number, that's all. You don't need to put this one. Okay, unless you think it's something very important that have to show for this, then yeah, you can use this one. And actually this is that a ringgit Malaysia or others country? If this is other country, then you don't really have the point to put here. You can just roughly write something to bring to tell the reader about, we have this and this is the problem, that's all. Yeah, because I see you attach so many graph. Okay, any questions from this group? Let me see. Yeah, you until here. Yeah, anything? No. So now we're going to group 2. Okay, so now once, to you all, for those who already can start to build your instrument, you can start to build your instrument and then you can start to collect your data. Because some of you already know what they want to do, they already did the literature review, they know what they're going to ask. What's the variable they want to collect? For that one, you can start. This is wrong. This is not hypothesis. All of this is more like the objective, to do something, to determine the reason why. This is objective, to discover this is objective. All of this is objective. This one is no hypothesis. This is wrong. Soft skill meaning. Can you get something a little bit new? Now it's 2020. When you talk about soft skill for today, maybe you should find something a little bit new. You still can keep this one. That means you can put some others, add one more, few more, which is more near, more new. And then they also have a similar idea. Okay, when you say you want to coin out something, yeah, this one is okay. You want to bring out the history. But the definition, is that a definition here? This is a definition. And yeah, I will take this as a history definition. How about today definition? After we have so many new technologies, sure, the soft skill thing will change. Okay, people keep changing the thing they call soft skill. Before this, they say, you do this will enough. And then they add in more and more. Before this, we talk about IQ. And then now we talk about EQ. And then we add few more Q. And then we say, oh, actually, we have few more Q to measure, not only just measuring high IQ. So you can see the thing, how they evolve. So same thing for the soft skill. Common sense. Okay, so this is the latest one. Okay, is that from the paper or you from a website?
From a paper.
From a paper. Okay, from a paper is okay. Software required by market. The teacher on career development is able to get soft skill. Long term. Some citation for this paragraph. This paragraph, you have this whole paragraph, I didn't see any citation. If you these two paragraphs, you only from one source, basically it's more likely will be the plagiarism because you copy the sentence, everything inside that paper and you paste over here. Because if you want to get the idea from one paper, usually 1 or 2 sentences will be enough. So why we got so many sentences? Most probably considered as plagiarism. You just copy that sentence and paste over here. So get few more citation to cite the idea. Okay. Okay, so like all this you explaining this one. Okay, for this one, maybe you don't need to put it a title. This two thing can be the introduction. Okay, mean this is the thing under 2.0. After 2.0, okay, the reports, this can be 2.1, this can be 2.1. Okay, this is the introduction. Okay, the thing that require. Then how about the other previous research? The soft skill. Anything, any teacher review on this part, which is why people not doing this. Okay, it not necessarily have to be Malaysia student, it could be other any country student, because that will give you some idea, and that idea you can bring back into your instrument design. Okay? Because I can see what is the software everything, but how about this one? Why is student not willing? How about the previous research, which is the similar research? They're also finding the similar thing. Okay, it doesn't matter have to be any university student. It could be kindergarten, not kindergarten. We didn't really go in secondary school from other research for other country or other uni, whatever. That is something that you can refer to. Okay, if you cannot get about the student, then at least you look at those employee, those worker, or those boss, or those people who are already working, and then they're not willing. That one is not that. If you're able to find, then you can look for why they also don't want to improve their soft skill. Okay, at least you have something, you have some idea about the reason, but you're not sure it's true or not. But at least you explore, you see. Okay, but if you're able to get about the student, that will be a lot better. That will be the good thing lah. The good resource lah. But if you cannot get, then one step back, you make your scope big a little bit, bigger a bit, and then looking for the human at least. Yeah, that's all my feedback over here. For the questionnaire, you don't really attach your questionnaire over here lah. Your questionnaire you can put attach as a attachment or appendix after the whole paper, which is appendix. This one is considered like the attachment. Something like the extra thing. Let's say people not reading this is also not affecting the information for this whole paper. So appendix is something like the extra, more detailed things. Validity. There's one most important about the validity for questionnaire is reliability. We need to make sure. How you make sure? How you make sure? Yeah, how you make sure this? Yeah, how you make sure this? You have to tell me how you make sure that. We only learned this last week. You need to do the test. By using the test, you show the number you get. That already is able to support that yours one is reliable or not reliable. So you cannot say, my one is good, or we try. Okay, because research paper, that means you already did. You're just reporting whatever you did. That means you already know there's something to support the reliability of your questionnaire. Okay, keep move on. Yeah, the problem is a hypothesis. You don't have your hypothesis, then how you can come out your instrument? Because you do not know what you're going to measure, but somehow you have an instrument. It's a weird thing. Okay. Just like you do not know how to go to Thai, you see, you don't have any map, you don't have any GPS, and somehow you reach Thai, you see. Any questions from this group? No. Then go to the next group. Group 3. Yeah, group 2, you need to give me access. Okay, now I'll go group 4 first. Video game. Okay, to determine student relief set by. What I mean to determine student? You want to determine whether student can relieve stress by playing video game, not to determine student relief stress. Which is the statement here is not clear. Because you want to see whether they're able to do so, able to help or not. You do not know, so you want to determine. There is a positive relationship in playing game and stress level. This is a thing, quite a weird logic. I do not know how you get this logic. And then your logic, you want to test your logic by putting in hypothesis. When we have hypothesis, we read something, and then we think maybe that is the case, and then we put here. Yours one sound like more we play video game, more stress we have. It's quite uncommon. Usually the student will tell me, or I assume that playing more video game, they can release the stress. So that means the stress level will going to drop down. Okay, but you're not sure about, and then you want to test it. But the way you're writing is positive relationship. That means this go up, this also go up. More game they play, more stress they are. I do not know how you get this hypothesis. Student will feel happier after playing video game. Okay, video game should be the best way. I'm not sure how you're going to test should be the best way. That means you need to test 100 ways and then you find out video game is the best way. Okay? I do not know how to test this. There could be 1,000 way, unlimited way, and then somehow you're able to prove, yeah, video game is the best way. And let's say if you're able to prove number 3, how this relevant to this? Because yours one, you just want to see whether they're able to release stress. Okay, if video game can release stress, that means you already achieved your objective. Your objective not going to find the best way, because people sleep, they can release stress. They can do many things to release stress. But you don't. That is not your concern. Your concern only for playing game release stress or not. This one you want to see what is the best among the others. There are many other ways can release stress, but you find the best. I do not know why you want to find that, because this is not your objective, and this is very difficult to do. So this is the part that you for this one you need to measure. Okay, happiness before and after. Somehow you know how to measure. I assume that somehow you did your teacher review. Okay, and then you find out one of the indicator or variables to represent stress will be the happiness index or happiness value, which is the high value. That means it will be low stress. Somehow maybe in your teacher review you already see this, so this is why you want to measure happiness, and then somehow you know how to measure happiness. I mean quantitatively. Quantitatively, that means you're able to measure in cm, km, time, in the numbers. And this is a weird logic. I do not know how you get this. If you put this negative, then I can see why you get this. Still the same thing. You still have to think how you're going to measure. play video game. I do not know what is the thing you're going to measure for play video game lah. Okay, maybe you're using the time, engagement, I do not know, or the type of the game you play, or how many type you play, I don't know, versus the stress level. Okay, let me see your literature review. You should find out in literature review how people measure stress. How do people measure? I don't know what it is lah. Because since you come out this, that means you know the way to measure this lah. Yeah, that is the problem of your hypothesis. Assumption, this is not assumption lah. I think I already explained what is the meaning of assumption lah. To Thursday classes, because Monday, Tuesday, maybe I forget to mention to them. Maybe I missed those classes. So this is why I explain again and again. But to yours, I believe that I already explained to all the Thursday classes about what is assumption. Okay. Stress among students. Maybe this and this you can group together, sound like they're the similar things. Stress among students, that means the stress affecting the student, or what happened between the student under stress. Citation. Somehow this group don't really give doing much the correction or much improvement, because sound like similar to the previous one. Whole paragraph, only one citation, which is, I would say, that is a plagiarism lah. This one do not have a citation. I remember this one. I think I mentioned many times, add citation. And this I also mentioned many times. 100 student. Why 100 student? Explain. Where you get the idea of 100 student? Why cannot 101, 102, 99, 98? Why 100? You should have a reason to pick 100. If you say, no, I just simply pick, that means you got a problem for your experiment design. We always have the reason to pick or make any decision or any design. Okay, which is we have the sampling. You can find, for this one, you all can search from the internet. Some website will give you some formula to do the calculation from the population. Some will give you just a table, and then based on the table, you will find out the suitable number. Okay, any questions from this group? Your hypothesis is really a problem, because you don't have a hypothesis, you do not know what you're going to collect. You do not know what is the thing you're going to measure. It's similar to the previous group, your hypothesis. Any questions from this group?
No question. Thank you, sir.
Actually, sometimes I don't really know the student really listen or not, because during the MCO, I also teach the research method as well. And every time I teach research method, I'm the one to keep talking for almost 2 hours. Now we go to next one, group 5. Yeah, jump back to group 3 because I forget. Group 3 just now, not sharing. Okay, study material. Oh, the digital and the physical printer book. Identify the preference of study material. Maybe you need to write more specific about study material over here. Because your scope only focus on the digital book or the printed book. You're not looking for others study material. Okay. Maybe for that case, you should write more specific over here, or at least here. I mean, after explanation. Hypothesis H1. They will prefer use ebook because of this. Okay, so you think student will prefer ebook? Yes, correct. And just now there's one group that you have a wrong hypothesis. Yeah, you look at this. This is a hypothesis. Something we can say yes, we can say no. This is why we want to test. And then you're able to give, if possible, you're able to give that. Because of all this, so this is what I think how you see student will be like this, but I'm not sure and I want to know. So I put it as hypothesis. Prefer to use physical book to study. You want to study, this one is to study. Okay. Usually when we write all this, you need to have some citation. You need to have some citation. Because all this kind of fact, like environmental friendly, all these things, is somehow you learn from somewhere else. Okay, I mean the detail could be in your literature review. Okay, you can still cite back the same idea from your literature review. If your literature review the advantages of this ebook, you still can cite that one. Okay, which is the idea. For example, student belief printed book have, let's say somehow there are some statement say student belief on this. Okay, and then you can cite that because that paper they really talk about student belief on this. They have this kind of thought. Okay. Yeah, problem is I don't really have a citation. Okay, if you don't have citation, that means this is just your own thought. And based on your own thought, you come out this thought. So basically, you don't need to show me this. You just directly show me this. Okay. If you have citation, that means, oh, this is how I get my idea. And because I learn from here, I learn from here, I know from here, I know from that. And this is how I get this idea. Okay. So even explanation here, you should have the citation. Prefer ebook and physical book. So basically, physical book, ebook, and then both of them. Okay. Yeah, something like this, got some citation. Reading of ebooks. This one advantages of this of ebooks. Same thing like this one, you see your whole paragraph, you only have one citation, that means not enough. Okay, there are some idea, maybe they could have other paper also having the same idea. You still can cite that together, put them together. This and this are the same. That means this paper contribute 50% in this subsection. That means your idea only from one person. Okay, review means we need to see how different idea from different people so that we can see a bigger picture, and then it's going to help us to make decision. Just like you want to buy a mobile phone, okay, and that mobile phone is very expensive, it's going to cost you half year of your salary, let's say. When like you buy a car, you're not going to just ask your friend say, iPhone good, and then you just go to buy iPhone. No. Okay, you're going to research, ask different friends, go to internet, see different view. That is basically the idea of literature review. Collecting information as much as possible so that you can make a decision, a better decision. So this is why these 50% idea you get from one person, and this thing basically affecting your instrument design and everything, and even will affecting your hypothesis. This is why this is not a good sign that doing something like this. But if you have multiple citation, which is there also presenting the similar idea, then okay, because that show that you read few paper and few of them have the same thought. Okay, the structure is okay before this, but there is some messy at here. Price, model of ebook and paper book, impact of ebook on printed book. Before this is quite clear, which is you talk about printed book one section, everything about printed book, and then another one is ebook, everything about the ebook. But here somehow you mix two together. Maybe this you can have a better subtopic, which is how these two interact with each other. Okay. Yeah. Same thing, since you mentioned reliability, then you have to show the reliability of your questionnaire, because I see that you say you want to use some questionnaire. You need to prove that reliability of questionnaire. Analysis behavior. Oh, okay. Later you give more sampling. Like just now, the previous group, they say 100%. That 100% actually is sampling, but you need to tell me why 100%. Okay, and then the way you sample the student, that means the way you choose the student. Okay, this you can refer to your lecture slide, the sampling. Okay, any questions from this group?
No questions.
Okay, not much problem for a group. It's just a teacher review. You can make it tidy a little bit for this. The rest is not much problem. Okay. Now we go group 4 already finish. Group 3 finish. Group 4 finish. Okay, group 5. This one is about factor study FOCS. What factor makes students choose the other course at all? Okay. Yeah, I already give a comment. Oh no, okay. I thought this is the survey question. Okay, no. Okay. Okay. When you talk about this one, maybe for some students, for wealthy family thing, this one, you need something to back up. Okay, this is one you can get from our website, right? Then you cite that website, because this information you can get from website. Then you can, I think we have a website. The website, we have some brochure you can download. Okay, that brochure that will list out the tuition fees. Then you can cite that source. Okay, this one you need some source. Okay, And the wealthy family, the difference in the cost of is not issue for them. And how you know this? Maybe poor student they also doesn't matter because they like the quality of Thai UC. So more expensive a bit that they don't care. Maybe this is the case. Okay, so my idea is where you get this idea. Okay, maybe you can read from literature review that from other country lah. Okay, then you can cite the thing over here. So that is no problem. Okay. This one no need to cite because you're talking about PV, which is not the thing that we need to cite lah. This is a thing that we can just pull out the map and then we can see this. From the information of Thai UC or says it show the staff or providing or you cite a little bit the Thai UC lah, which web page lah, a little bit of citation over here. Yeah, this kind of thing, you all of this you can get from website, then you cite the source from the website. Okay, all of this basically from the website. Then students choose Thai UC because of good quality equipment. How you know this? I mean, where you get this idea? Well equipped. Okay, if you read from Thai UC website, the Thai UC website say they are well equipped. Okay, we have completed for this. Okay, then yes, maybe based on that one, you assume that is well equipped. Then you can cite from the website, FOCS certain website, or Thai UC bulletin. Okay, those documentation. Then yes. Okay, I think even some news introducing Thai UC, that one also okay. I can accept that one because that is not really a research. Okay, which is we have this, we have that. That is something you can put in news and no problem. And actually, those kind of news, those content provided by Thai UC, we provide the content to them, and then they just write based on the content. Some of them actually is a advertisement. Send to other universities. No problem. That's one. Survey, online survey, physical survey, interview. Okay, you use different method. Still the same thing in your sampling later, you need to write. Literature review. I think last week you also not showing me any literature review. You need to add your literature review. Your literature review, you're going to see the I think I did explain last week. I don't want to repeat again because I think, yeah, I remember this. Last week, you're also not providing me literature review. Okay, and the thing you can look at actually is the factor people choose, how they make decision on picking a university. Okay, any questions from this group?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, then we can start. Let me just go through your exercise. Factor, what factor? Be specific. Because I can't see which variable you write. Wrong. Now we can easily get a lot of hypotheses. For exercise 3, we don't have variables. We don't have hypotheses. Later I explain why. Wrong. This is not the meaning of sample. I'm disappointed to this group. Last week I already explained what is the meaning of sampling. What is the meaning of sample? You're still giving me something irrelevant to sample. If you give me something wrong, but it's still considered as a sample, then it's still okay. This one definitely wrong. Measuring the engagement is dependent. Okay, yes, but you can be more specific now. Yes, this is a variable, but inside the experiment, you can see they have more specific variables. You should list out the variables. Actually, they don't really prove the thing. They're more like analyzing what really happened, how they're playing their rules, not quite prove something. Hypothesis no problem. They're quite easy. Yeah, this is those variables. Okay, this should be more specific because this is kind of variables that's very solid. Okay. Later I explain this one. Assumption, I don't really find any assumption there. But I do find some limitation inside. Yeah, this is a sample, correct. I think they only use interview. Do they use others questionnaire? Well, I think they only use interview. Finding. This is not method. This is not method. Basically, this is finding. You already can see finding. This is a result. This is their finding. Engagement key. Okay. Am I opening the same file? Just now I opened this one. Okay, not the same file. Okay. Yeah, correct. There's a 3 team they're able to find. Actually, the limitation here, the scope, their scope actually is a university UPM student, only 9 UPM postgrad student. That is their scope. Limitation later I explain, then you will know what is the limitation of this type of result, research. That is the thing that you're not able to find inside. 4. This tree is not data analysis method, it's a result. This is the result. The method will not appropriate for this research. How possible that people know that this is a limitation, but they still want to use this? If I don't have this one is this one is a profile don't have this one this one. No. Okay. Then we can start. I need this one. What's this one? Okay, first, this is a good paper. Why I say it's a good paper? Because all the variables that tell you how they get them, how they define them, how they give a definition, how they measure them, and then they also tell you how they analyze, and then they come out the conclusion. Everything very detailed. That means other researcher, they can base on this one to replicate the whole experiment with their own scope. Okay. This is the reason I say that if you do not know how you do your experiment, how to do the testing, read the paper. Okay. Not all the paper are the good paper. Okay, but the digital library that I recommend to you, that 3 digital library, most of them are the good paper, especially journal paper. This one definitely is a journal paper. Okay, so this is why you have a long page. Proceeding paper, they will have a limited page because proceeding they need to print out. So if you want to write more, you need to pay more money. So this is why they have a limitation of page. Journal they don't have. You can write as long as you want. Okay. Okay, for this one, from here we know this is the objective, and this is the result, which is from the abstract. We always can get all this information. Okay, after you read this, you will know that this one's suitable for your topic or suitable for the thing that you want to looking for or not. If not, then you no need to read all this. Okay, the variables they're measuring, basically this is the variable they're measuring. This is all the variables they're measuring. Just variable, everything variable. And this is the research questions. When and which and when. This one is the objective. Okay, and then this is our literature review. Okay, the literature review from here, they talk all their data they crawl from Facebook. Okay, so this is why they look at social networking, and inside the social, and then the social networking, they want to look at the brand and the consumer engagement, because this is basically the thing they want to do. Okay, they want to see how the post, the time of post, were affecting each other. Okay, and definitely this is also something called marketing. Okay, and after all this, somehow he dedicate one section to talk about Facebook. I guess it is because all of this research data they crawl from Facebook. So this is why they want to dedicate one page to talk more detail for the Facebook. You can see somehow here, let's say this one, within the Facebook brand page. Okay, here they also talk about the brand, the brand over here. The brand over here, and then the brand, which is also related with this marketing. Okay, this inside the marketing. Okay, in more detail, more specific, depict this one, the Facebook page, the brand page to talk. Okay, but anyway, the thing here the thing I want to show you all here, the thing I like here, just want to show you that how they come out that definition. Here they say all the terminology, the terms, the ideas, okay, like the like the post, at the time. Okay, this kind of terminology that how they define them. They're based on Facebook definition, because they call off of this from the Facebook. So this is why they follow the Facebook. So they don't simply say, I want to define this by my own. So they have something to follow. Okay. Throughout this whole paper, you can see many places that they're saying how they come out their idea. Okay, and then we come to here, theoretical framework. This part is considered they start designing their instrument, their hypothesis, their methodology. Okay, theoretical framework basically is like the how to say their methodology. Okay, we have theoretical framework, and then we have one more framework. I forget why we have two types of framework. Okay. Theoretical framework here, you see even the theoretical framework inside here, this content, those content actually literature review. They need to read, and then read by reading all these. Therefore, we formulate this and how they get that idea. They just not simply say, I wake up, somehow I want to see the post content this, post content this, post content this. Okay, they read and then they get the idea. Same thing for all the others, post type and everything. So now we look at the independent and dependent variables. Okay, this is the dependent variables. It depend on what? Depend the news or the post that the user read. The user read the post, they will react differently in terms of like, comment, and share. So this is dependent variables. This whole thing actually is an independent variable, which is the post. But inside the post, they break it out into 3 characteristics of the post. That means at the moment they post, the people that post, okay, that content basically already there. They're not going to change. The media time, the post time, the moment they post, that means that will be the moment. They post afternoon, that is afternoon for the post, okay, and the content. So once the post out, that's all. They're not changing. So this is independent. This is dependent. Different users look at this post, they will give differently, react differently. Okay, and basically this is why they want to measure this factor, these 3 factors, how these 3 factors have the impact. Okay, so they want to see the impact, they have to see the engagement. Okay, so engagement is something not solid, not tangible enough, because we can say that or it's quite engaging. But B, people will say, no, that is not engaging enough. There's something can be argued. Okay, so this is why we have to measure. So they break down with some variables that they can measure. And these variables is solid. Why I say it's solid is because people cannot argue. For example, if that post, there are 10 people click like, we can see on that post, there is 10 like. You ask 10 researchers, different people, they will say that there is 10 like. Okay, that is something really obvious that we cannot change, or we have some argument on that things. Okay, because we see 10 like and that is a 10 like. We see 10 comment, that is 10 comment. But engagement level, if you say my one, this post have high engagement level without having all this, because you do not know how to measure. So you just say, oh, this one really high engagement level. And then the other people will say, no, this one is low. Then other people say, this one average ma. And then the fourth one will say, how you measure? So this is why we can say we have argument over there. So when we talk about when we measure something, we need to know the variables. When we talk about the variable, this is the variable, the thing which we can measure with a number. 10 second, 10 second, 10 like, 10 like. Okay, same thing to all of your hypothesis writing. Okay, so this is why I say that I hope you know how you measure. That's the meaning. You cannot tell me, oh, awareness level very high, or they're facing a lot of problem, or they feel difficult. Okay, this kind of thing. Because you're saying, because this is something that is not quantitative, you not quantify them. It's difficult. Okay, but this is the thing that they quantify. Same thing for all this lah. Okay. Okay, same for this lah. Hypothesis, the same thing. Based on this reasoning, after they read those literature review, based on that, okay, they propose this. So to show you all again that they don't really just simply come out the hypothesis. They don't simply just define their variables. The method here, that the data collection, how they collect, they're basically using the script based on the API, the Google API. And then the data basically is obtained more than 100 sponsor brand page. This is the reason why in the literature review, they will review on this one, review on marketing. Because this is the experiment about. Okay, one more thing about here, like the vividness. They don't really simply say, oh, I want to divide into 4. Okay, the thing that you did to guarantee that. So yeah, they modify a little bit. Okay, and this one they're explaining the reason why. Okay. Okay, how they analyze? They're using this negative. I don't know what kind of method. Okay, they use this kind of method to do the analysis. And the rest of this is explaining how one by one. Okay, it's quite detailed. Okay, their finding. Look at here. That basically this is their finding. Okay, and then there is some limitations because the existing privacy policy, because they crawl everything from the Facebook, and Facebook have its own privacy policy. That means there are some data they're not able to reveal to you, and nothing you can do with that. That will be the limitation. Okay, and then this is their scope, because they only focus on FMCG industry. They're not focused on the education industry. They're not focused on the entertainment industry. They just want to focus on the FMCG, the food and beverage. Okay, so this is their scope. And yeah, that's all. This one could be the attachment. Okay, so this is why I say it's a good one, because it's really explaining every variables, how they get it, how they test it. Okay, the definition, where they get it, everything. Okay. So that the next student or the next researcher, they always can repeat, okay, to learn something for what they did. Okay, now we go to the third one. Okay, the third one will be the easy one. The third one, they do not have any hypothesis. They do not have any variables, independent or dependent variables. Why? Now we look at here. First, objective. You always can get objective result, everything at here. To explore the phenomena. How to explore? They use qualitative study. All the paper you read mostly are quantitative. So this is why you always can see the variables. They measure in time. How many people click like? Okay, how long the time they use. Those things that we can measure. Qualitative is something that we cannot measure. We just say quite high low or quite low low. This is the thing. Okay, and then they use an interview to collect the data. And at the end, their result, they find out there's 3 teams. Okay, so why they use this to explore something? Why they use this qualitative study? I'll give you one example. Let's say there is some incident. I just make it up. It's not a real one. Okay, let's say in Selangor, there is one village. The villagers inside that kampong, somehow after MCO, they no longer eat chicken. We do not know why. And somehow it just happened. We want to find out what is the reason, why this thing happened. And we do not have any previous research to refer. That means we start from the ground. And this is something new. In that case, qualitative research will be very important, because we do not know why, we know nothing. That means we don't have hypothesis. Okay, because when we have hypothesis, it is because we read something and then we say, maybe this is also same. Okay, but this case, no previous study. That means it could be from the gene, it could be from the habit, it could be from the black magic, it could be from the environment, or maybe something the star go until somewhere else and then affecting the Kampong A people. We don't know. So we mapping, if we want to make the hypothesis, basically we just fly guess. So before we do that, why not we just exploring the situation? So here, for this case, we will use interview. We will interview all the villagers in that kampong. We're going to ask all the questions. We cover as much as possible, included how many people they have, what is the thing they eat, what time they sleep, okay, what is their hobby, even what kind of food you like. Okay, you can just ask anything because we do not know where is the reason. We don't know. So we collect all the data with all the kampong people after the interview. We start to organize the information. And then we find out some pattern from the information. And then we group them together. We call it team. So from here, they find out 3 teams from that 9 students. This is the 3 team, which is just like your literature review. You read, and then I ask you these few things they are collected, they can group together, become one title, because you're talking one thing. That actually is team. Okay, but yours different because that one is already proved. Okay, this is something no people prove, and then it could be really macam source. Okay, so at the end they will get this. Okay. Okay, one more thing is for the qualitative study in research academic world. Quantitative researcher look down on qualitative research, because quantitative researcher, they will say that your research cannot be replicated, not reliable. Okay, because quantitative we can measure, we use formula, we use statistic. That means you're a student, just like you all learn research method, you read the other paper, you follow what they did, basically you can write out the result. Okay, but for this qualitative research, it really depends on the experience of the researcher. If the researcher do not have much experience, when they're grouping the information, they will group the wrong information. And then you give this task to different researcher, they maybe give you different team. Maybe one researcher, they say, oh, I get 3 teams over here. And you give another one to organize, they find 4 teams, and some find 1 team. So it's something that we're not able to consistent, not able to replicate. Why? Because it really depends on the experience of the researcher. Because when you're doing interview, the way people talk, even add on their gesture, we will capture that information. We just not asking them, do you like this one? They say, okay, lor, like lor. Okay, then they will know actually they don't really like. You say, oh yeah, I really like that one. Okay, that means they really confirm. That one really require the experience from the researcher, because sometimes people, the way they're saying is different, and you need to know the culture of that kampong people they're saying things. So this is the difficult thing for the qualitative study. So this is the reason why we don't have dependent, independent variables, because we don't have hypothesis, because we do not know. Okay, but to me, this problem, basically people already know. Okay, they're not really exploring, but anyway, this is a paper because maybe for this researcher, this is the beginning. I mean, in their thesis, maybe this is the first step. And then the second step, third step, fourth step, they will continue to use other quantitative. Okay, we do not know. Okay, because when we write the paper, they can just pick out that part and then they write the paper for proceeding. I think this one is a proceeding, is journal or proceeding. No, writing, not seeing anything. Okay. So people can do that. So yeah, not comment for that part lah. Okay. But anyway, this is a qualitative study. So not much thing I put here. Okay, this is the part that explaining qualitative method are mainly suitable for telling the rich detail, which is the thing that I say, the context when people tell you their gesture, their facial expression. That is the thing that only able to be catch, to detect by using interview face to face and the experience of the researcher. So this is, they try to justify this lah. But to me, I think that, I don't know, because this is the thing that people already research many times. They do have their own, they're supposed to have, they're able to come out their hypothesis and test the hypothesis. Okay? But as I say that, I do not know how the whole research run, because this could be the part of the research. Okay, and this is the sample. 9 international postgrad students. This is a sample. So how they do the analysis, this is how they do the analysis. Transcript and analyze. Transcript, this one basically is we record the interview between us and the villagers or the student, which is according to my example just now, the villagers, for example. They're going to record everything, every word, and then they need to write down every single word. Literally every single word. For example, they say, yeah la, the la, they have to put into the script. They need to write it down. People say yellow, they need to write down. If they say yeah la, and then call versus then yeah la, that la even, some is longer, some is shorter, they also will note down in the script. The la, they say long la, short la. Okay, set some post certain time and then continue. They write out everything, the context inside. So this was a really tedious job to do this. And then after this, they analyze. Because if you're not writing down, you're not able to analyze because everything going to be the digital people recording. Or you need to write down and then you analyze. And now we have some software. They're able to detect certain keyword and then they give you easy for you to do the labeling or whatever. There is other software for this kind of research. Okay, so they write down, they analyze. So the question is the analyzing, really depending on the researcher experience. And for this researcher, they come out 3 teams. Right? Team 1, Team 2, Team 3. Okay, which they're grouping the similar idea together and become a team. Okay, so let's say like the example I give you, like the not eating the chicken, that example, let's say for that example, we come out Team 1, Team 2, Team 3. So the next research, they can start their quantitative research because they do have some direction. For example, let's say this is direction because they read the Facebook, so they do want to eat chicken, let's say, okay, something for the Facebook. So they can, based on this one, they want to investigate more. Is that really that case? Okay, so reading the Facebook, is that a factor or not? That will be the objective. Once we have the objective, we will have our hypothesis. For example, they read Facebook and they know this. Facebook tell them this or this is this kind of thing. And then they test one by one and then they answer their questions. That will be the quantitative. Okay, so this is why quantitative is still useful. Okay, because you can gather some information that you're not able to gather by the quantitative research, because it got a lot of context, those interview things. Okay, and then at the end, this paper he gives some suggestion. It's quite a normal one. Not much different, special. Just suggestion to university. Okay, basically that's all. Okay, so now I hope you understand this exercise 3 article. This one is a qualitative research. For your assignment, you're doing quantitative research. Okay. So now I hope you understand when you write your hypothesis, you need to identify a variable. And you understand what is variable, the thing that we can measure. What is the thing we can measure? Time, distance, light, numbers, something numbers. Okay. Okay, any questions? Anything you want to ask? No. Okay, if you have any question, then basically that's all for our class today. Next week, you continue to improve yours one. For those who already know what they're going to ask, what's the variable you're going to collect, how you're going to collect, basically you can start to build your instrument and then go to collect the data. It doesn't need to wait for me. You just carry on your task. And then next week, we will teach another 2 more PSPP analysis tool. Okay. Okay, so yeah, basically that's all for today. If you have any question, then that's all. I'll see you all next week. and goodbye.